This is it. This is the big one here, man. Rob Font, New England Cartel, man. They get another one back on the board, right? A lot of people, I think they probably wrote off New England Cartel after Calvin Kattar got pieced up by Max Holloway. You know what would be an interesting matchup, AJ? Rob Font versus Max Holloway, man. I think that would be a crazy matchup. Rob Font, if I'm not mistaken, he threw somewhere in the range of like 350 strikes in this fight, landed about, almost 200 of them. Majority of them jabs. Guess what? Max Holloway does the same thing. Would be interesting. But let's hold off on that thought for a second and let's talk about the dominance that was Rob Font and the New England Cartel, man. How do you think Cody Garbrandt's chin is feeling right now? That eye, that chin, that face has got to be sore after absorbing all of those jabs, man. What advice do you have for a fighter who just got that jab in front of him all day? What can an MMA fighter in this day and age do to just, counteract that strategy? Because it looks like the jab is just unstoppable. Kamaru Usman's destroying people. Rob Font, give me your take, AJ.
Well, it's weird because Chael Sonnen always talks about how the jab in MMA is absolutely useless because people can just duck under it and shoot. Yeah. And we saw that wasn't actually able to happen in the Rob Font fight. I don't know why Cody Garbrandt wasn't able. He tried a couple times, but it just wasn't happening. And it's weird because if for me, in my background, somebody wants to jab me all day, you just hit him with a kick. Keep your leg is longer than their arm. Just keep them out, kick them, bap, 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 keep them at a distance. Whereas in this fight, it looked like Rob Font's arm was longer than Cody Garbrandt's leg. So that wasn't able to happen. Rob Font was just a piston out there, man, just keeping that pressure, dominating literally at the end of his strikes too, where all the striking coaches teach you. You hit him at the end, so it actually has that pop. And we saw Cody Garbrandt. He might have been, hitting the cheek and all that, but man, when your other guy's doing that to you too, is it really that impressive? I don't know, man. I think if I was in Cody Garbrandt's corner, you gotta tell him, you're gonna eat one, maybe two jabs, but at the end of the day, it's not that PED TJ Dillashaw, banger that you're gonna eat. Walk through it, man. You have to walk through it. You have to get that takedown. You have to nullify this guy's length in order to at least get some sort of footing in the fight, man. Because it was a hard one, and I was going for Cody Garbrandt. I'm a big Garbrandt fan. I even gave Cody Garbrandt the third round just on pure bias, and don't get me wrong. I went and watched that back and he definitely lost the third round, but it was just a hard one for Cody Garbrandt to learn because it was a good lesson. And Rob Font really, man, put it on him and it put everyone on notice that boxing is legit. And if you can't grapple, it's going to be a long day getting pieced up from a jab from a distance, man.
Yeah, man, that's really what I saw here is that Cody Garbrandt came out hot, right? He was utilizing some kicks. That was one of the strategies I thought that Cody Garbrandt would have been able to use to really stop Font's output, is just stay at range. He was dodging the jab very well in the first round. Problem is, this was a 5-round fight, right? And we're going to see that Cody Garbrandt was outstruck in every single round, 1 through 5. So I say it's the demoralizing feeling when all 5 rounds, everything you tried, nothing works, man. Yeah, you had a moment, right? And that's the thing. In 5-minute rounds, you have moments. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, caught him clean with that good shot right there. Cool. You know what I mean? There was a couple times where Cody showed that power and that speed where he just got out, right? But what Font do throughout the entire round? Jab, jab, jab. Oh, I'm going to take you down. Oh, yeah, what did I call before, AJ? I said, oh, remember when Rob Font gets to the ground, what does he like to use? He grabs onto your arm for the Kimura, and if he's not going to break your arm, he's going to use it to get up. He's going to threaten the submission so he can get back up on his feet, get back to the jab, right? The very simple game plan with this dude, and that's the thing. The basics sometimes will take you the furthest, man. It's just very, very simple, rudimentary, and because he's not throwing crazy, spinning attacks and all of that stuff, he's never putting himself in a bad spot, really. He never really was in a bad spot the entire fight. I think the biggest thing to take away from this, AJ, is that Cody Garbrandt is a great representation, or what Rob Font did to Cody Garbrandt is a great representation of when you have these powerful dudes, these dudes who are just willing to, you know what I mean, walk through the fire sometimes. It didn't happen in this fight, but these dudes who could take your head off with one punch. Smart pressure is the key, right? Keep them on their back foot. But when Rob Font would get Cody Garbrandt back against the cage, when you're back against the wall, you're actually a dangerous opponent because that's when he would reach for that in that pocket, try to drop the big overhand, right? Every time Font got Garbrandt back there, he just walked back to the center of the cage and said, nah, not going to do that. We're going to go back to this. We're going to go basics. And that's the key. The reaction difference between getting hit too, because when Font did take a couple, because he got cracked a couple times, what did he do? He said, okay. And just like tight guard, right? Instead of Cody Garbrandt, who he saw red a little bit in the fight, man. Like he got to a point where he got so frustrated. He was basically like, yeah, what's up, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Trying to draw out that firefight, right? Did it work? Absolutely not. Did he have majority of his is actually, so in the third round, the round that you scored it for, he landed 15 strikes. That's the most strikes in any round. 15 in round 3 and in round 5. He was outstruck in both of those rounds. In the third round, he was outstruck by about 15 shots. In the fifth round, he was outstruck by about 30 strikes. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, you got to just be able to draw that output out there. The wrestling didn't work because we said the grappling was legit from Font, but this dude's scary, man. He's in a little bit of a bantamweight limbo because Aljamain Sterling's holding up the division right now, man. But once this thing shakes out, this dude is going to be a contender. AJ, what else you got for me on this matchup, if you have anything else?
I think you hit the nail on the head, Derek. And what impressed me most was the game plan. Like you said, Rob Font didn't at all get drug into the battle. Cody Garbrandt literally, he would go to the back. He would get where he felt comfortable, and Rob Font would say, "Okay, let's reset."
Yeah.
Okay, you're comfortable. Cool. Come on, back up now. Let's go. Let's play my game, and we're fighting my game. And this is it. And that's what you want, man. It was so impressive. And as a Cody Garbrandt fan, it was frustrating. But at the end of the day, you got to give Rob Font credit because he didn't necessarily only fight with these. He fought where it was most important with his head, man, and he played a smart game plan. It was impressive.
I agree, and Rob Font moves to 19-4 in his MMA career. He's now on a 4-fight win streak, and he outstruck Garbrandt 131-48 at a 48% clip, man, which goes to show that jab will take you a long way, and he stuffed 7 of 10 total takedowns from Cody Garbrandt, man. So when Cody Garbrandt says, I'm going to channel my former NCAA D2 wrestling skills, it's like, yeah, sometimes traditional freestyle collegiate wrestling and MMA wrestling don't translate, right? It's a good indicator. I mean, you got chops. It goes to show he got chops, but you got to be able to mix it up too. You know what I mean? Just wrestling and wrestling while striking, just two different things, man. But at the end of the day, that's the main card, man. Great bouts all across the board, man.